Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to my YouTube channel. My name is Benga Adeyemo. I'm a Microsoft Certified Trainer, and I'm also a Microsoft Certified Power BI Data Analyst Associate. I'm a Senior Data Analyst, and I'm also a Power BI developer. I love Power BI so much, and I love everything about Power BI. That's why once every week, I like pushing out Power BI content on my YouTube channel so that everybody can enjoy. Now, today, I'm going to talk about something very interesting, is the Treatas Dax function in Power BI. In one of my videos, I talked about role-playing dimension, where I used the DAX function called USERELATIONSHIP to activate the inactive relationship that exists between two tables in the Power BI model. Now, this was the scenario. We had a calendar table and we had a sales fact table. Now, in the sales fact table, we have three major date columns. We have the order dates, we have the ship date, and we have the delivery date. Now, the sales fact table is the kind of fact table we call accumulating snapshot fact table, right? It means that it's a fact table that talks about the business process from when the goods were ordered, from when it was shipped, and when it was finally delivered, right? Now, the order date showed when the goods were ordered, the ship date showed when it was shipped, and the delivery date showed when the final delivery was done, right? Now, we connected the order date to the date column we have in the calendar table. That gives us an active relationship, right? But if you try to now connect the ship date to the date column in the calendar table, then that will give us an inactive relationship because we cannot have more than one active relationship between two tables in a Power BI model, right? We also connected the delivery date to the date column in the calendar table, and that also gave us an inactive relationship. Now, I'm going to drop a link in the description for you to go and watch my video on role-playing dimension, where I used use relationship dance function to activate that inactive relationship. Now, for those of you that are new here on this channel and you will be wondering what is the meaning of role-playing dimension. So our calendar table in this scenario is the role-playing dimension. It's a dimension table, and we call it role-playing dimension because it serves numerous purposes. So we are not using it only for us to get the order quantity, but we are only also using that same calendar table for us to be able to derive what is our shipped quantity and what is our delivered quantity, right? So that's why we call it a role-playing dimension. When a dimension table can perform various functions, or it can be used for various purposes, right? Now, let's now move to the example of treat as. The interesting thing about treat as is, for use relationship, you still have to connect the tables, whether it's active or inactive, right? You still have to connect the tables together, right? You still have to create that relationship between them. Interesting. But for treat as, you don't even need to create any relationship between two tables, and you're still going to transition to the proper filter context for you. That is, you are still going to be able to get your shipped quantity, your order quantity, and also your delivered quantity, right? Interesting. You are still going to be able to get all of this without even creating any relationship at all between the fact table and your dimension table. That means between your calendar table and your sales table. So let's see how that works. I'm going to be sharing my screen now. Just give me a few seconds. So back to what I was discussing with you earlier. If you look at my model view here, you will see that I created a relationship between order dates and the dates in the calendar table. But for the other ones, the ship dates and the dates and the what's it called, delivery date and the dates in the calendar table, you see that there's inactive relationship. And when it comes to how I was able to get my order quantity, I just did a sum of quantity column in the sales table. And for ship quantity, I used the same calculate sum of quantity in the sales table, then use relation, that is, activate that inactive relationship that I have in this model, activate it as if it is active, and give me and transition my quantity, right, to only shipped quantity, right? And also the same thing I did for my delivered quantity. I also use relationship. I will recommend that you go back and watch that video so that you have more understanding of what I'm saying, right? So use relationship and delivery dates with the calendar dates. That is, activate how they are related to each other, right? Even though my data model shows that they are inactive. Okay, right. I think that is good. Now, what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to duplicate the calendar table and the sales table here. So I'll come to the calendar. I will see something like new table under home, and I will call this table calendar 2, and I will say calendar equals to calendar. It's like I'm duplicating the already existing calendar table instead of me having to use that expression again to start creating a new calendar table, right? And the next thing I'm going to do also is to click on new table again, and I'm going to call this one sales 2, and I'll call it equals to sales. That is, I'm duplicating the sales table, and I can press enter. Then I have, now you will see that this calendar 2 table and the sales 2 table are not connected to each other. And I'm still going to achieve the same thing that I got here, right? I'm still going to achieve the same thing I got here, the order quantity, the shipped quantity, and delivered quantity. So what am I going to do now in this scenario? So let me first of all copy this, and I come to this page 2 here, I paste it, right? And I'm going to remove everything I put here, all the order quantity delivered and shipped. I'm going to remove that. And also my calendar, I'm going to remove the month name and the year. So since I'm using calendar 2, I'm going to put the year in calendar 2. So let me go back here and drag it to rows. And my month name 2 will be in rows here, right? And I can come here to expand it, right? I can come here to expand. What I can do is come to my calendar 2 table and, sort out the columns. So the month name should be sorted. So but for the fact that you duplicated it doesn't mean it's going to be sorted. So you can come here and sort it and say month name should be sorted by month number, right? And if you come back here, that is going to be sorted October, November, December, January, February, right? And the next thing I'm going to do now is to go to my sales 2, is to come to my sales 2 here, and I'm going to keep all my measures in my sales 2 here. I'll say right click, new measure, say new measure, and I'm going to call this measure order quantity, and I'm going to say this one is the treat as example, right? Is equals to, and I will use the same method. I'll say calculate for me the sum. Sorry, since it's blocking, I'll say the sum of what? The quantity column in sales 2, right? Comma. Oh, sorry, I'm going to close the brackets here, comma, and I'll come here and say treat as. Treat as means treat this as if there is a relationship between the two tables, between the column, the date column in the calendar, and the order dates in the sales table, right? Treat as, and I'm going to say values. I'm going to put values here, right? And I'm going to say the dates in calendar 2, right? Just the brackets here, and what? And also the order dates in my sales 2 table, right? And I close the bracket 2 times here. So let me explain my formula, my expression. I say calculate the sum of quantity in sales 2, treat as if there is an active relationship between them, like treat it as, or also activate the relationship that is not even there, right? Treat as values, calendar 2 dates, and sales 2 order dates. It's going to create. So what is going on at the back end is that it's creating a relationship between these two columns, right? So that it can, do that proper transition to the filter context. You want the right result, the order quantity. Now I can commit. I can commit this, and I'm going to bring in that here. And now you can see that the same result I got for the use relationship example is also what I got here, right? This one is not well arranged. Let me go back here again to my calendar here and also sort out month name should be sorted by the month number. Let me go back here. And now you can see exactly. You see 25, 25, 998. And let me go back here. You see 25, 25, 998. Example. This is very good. So I can go back here and let me go and correct this, what I wrote here. This one is treats as example. Good. Now, I'm going to also do the same thing for my ship quantity. I'll just copy this and I'll click on new measure. Click on new measure here. Let me wait for a few seconds. Click on new measure again. Okay, and I can paste this here. And I'm going to now call this one ship quantity. The Treatas example. And this one is now going to be what? It's not going to be order date now. It's going to be ship date, right? And I'm going to press commit, right? I'm going to press commit and I'm going to drag this one inside of this table, right? And I can expand it and I will see 1048 was shipped. And when I go back to the use relationship example, I will see 1048. So I got the same result. You see, that is interesting. For use relationship, there has to be a relationship between the tables, whether active and inactive, right? But for the treat as, you don't even need to connect the tables together in your data model, right? And I'm going to go back here and I will also do the same thing for delivered quantity. I'll just come here, I'll copy what I have here. I will Control C here. I will click on new measure, right? And I'm going to paste this and I will put delivered. I'll just say delivered quantity, treat as example, and I'm going to come here and just change this one to what? Delivery date in my sales tool. And now I can press commit and I'm going to go back here and also drag that in here. And now you can see I have 55,993 and I go back here, I see 55,993. So guys, I've come to the end of today's video. You see that the Treatas function is very, very interesting. It's very, very interesting DAX function. That is, you can activate relationship that does not even exist between two tables in your data model. So let me go back again and show you that you will see here that these two tables are not connected to each other at all. And still, you can still write your DAX expression using treat as to connect that relationship to exist, even though it does not exist at all in your data model. Unlike the use relationship here that you see that the tables are connected, right? Even though we have two inactive and we have one active. Thank you very much, guys. See you again in my next video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. God bless you. Bye.